kind of nervous you are, like, literally. But you keep practicing, like, do this kind of mock interviews with your friends, or you can do the mock interviews with Peter Burnett, schedule an appointment with any of your senior student or someone like that. You keep practicing, then you'll get to one level of comfortness that when you go to the real interview situation, you won't actually freak out that much. That, oh, I already did this once, so now it's not going to be like that difficult. Today I can sit here and do this interview in front of all you people is only because I had the similar kind of experiences in the past. It's not like, I really was exceptional or anything like that. The more and more the practice you do, the better you will be doing in an interview. That's the only thing.
I think that's a great point. And for anybody who's had meetings with me, when you get to the interview point, I've always said the goal, if you can, is actually a very interesting comment from the gentleman in the back right on he felt Shiva controlled the interview. It was a conversation. We ended up having a conversation, and that's really the goal. Versus somebody asking, so tell me what a copula is. Well, the textbook definition is, boom, 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 Mr. Robot gave me a perfect textbook answer, all right? And yet, everything I heard with that answer was, this guy's a robot. I don't think, he'll never go to Las Vegas, and I don't want him on my team, okay? So you can give all the right answers and do horribly on an interview. So to Shiva's point, the key is to get it so comfortable, like it is you're having a conversation. That's really what it is. Ultimately, they're hiring you based on your expertise, but also, do I want you on my team? Do I want you on my team? Do you have a pulse? Can I see some teeth? Have you smiled once, right? Do you have a sense of humor? You notice when I kicked it off, I thought, well, how was it today? How was the drive-in? And that small talk, which I know is kind of tough for a lot of people, but that's important, right? So the more you can practice just being comfortable talking about a range of issues, that's going to help you too. It's all part of that first impression. By the time I sat down with him, I already had an impression. He was dressed really well, he was on time, gave a great handshake. Even before he sat down, before the cheeks hit the chair, I already was excited to interview him. And that's the goal. Right?
Yeah. Well, the only thing I would add is the fact that I like the fact that he didn't allow for any awkward moments. Awkward moments in the fact that, you could ask some question and then it's like, I'm not really sure. No, you don't want to do that in an interview. Even if you cannot answer exactly that kind of question, and you seem to have something in mind that is similar, we can start with that. While you're talking, whoever is interviewing you can chip in, and then you switch immediately to the next question. But don't just, no, I'm not sure. It raises a red flag, and you don't want that. And then, of course, you should always smile, because the moment you start to frown, it shows that you're nervous, it shows that you don't know what you're talking about. Or once you smile, even if, because sometimes the person who is interviewing you doesn't even know what he is asking. So it's possible. So at least if you smile, it shows that you have a good idea of what you're talking about. But if you're frowning, if you look nervous, he's probably thinking you don't even know what you're talking about.
The other thing too is Shiva does like to use his hands. Okay, you really notice, right? But it's not distracting. Okay, so if you'll notice they're kind of low a lot, but he's using points, and this is fine. Okay, if he's slapping himself or rubbing his armpits because he's itchy, that's a different issue. Nervous twitches and that type of thing, but that was fine. So I had people say, oh geez, should I put my hands in my pocket, or should they be behind my back, or should I put weights on them so they hang down? Be yourself, okay? His use of hands was absolutely appropriate. So did anybody notice he uses his hands a little bit? Okay, very natural. Okay, I have a lot of Italian friends, my God, and with all due respect. Anyway, so that's absolutely fine. Not distracting. I think that's the key, is you want to be yourself. Yes?
Yeah, could be